Hey guys, I want to tell you about a few things to consider when developing your unfinished basement. I'm Paul from Contact Renovation and Custom Homes. Welcome to the Art of Renovation. So when you're developing your basement for the first time, there's some really important things to consider so you get what you need and you work with what you've been left with by your builder. So often the builder doesn't put a lot of thought into what will be developed later by the client based on that client's individual needs. So you have to consider some things you'll have to just work around, and that's things like teleposts, beams and bulkheads, and window locations. So often, like in this basement, we had some real challenges to what we were left with by the builder, and it had some limitations for us that we had to be creative in our design to make sure we end up with a space that really addressed the client's needs while minimizing the amount of infrastructure we had to rework here. So things to consider are, where are your windows for a potential bedroom? Will they meet egress, right? And look obviously at your teleposts and your beams. How are those going to impact your wall layout? Can you work around them? Do you need to replace them and maybe put in a beam to clear a span and eliminate the need for a telepost? Those are things to consider structurally to see if it's worth the expense to you to get what you want out of your basement. The other thing to consider would be, how will your basement perform? So when selecting your products, do you need soundproofing, whether it's in the ceilings to separate the space from the upper level, not have so much noise pass between them, whether it's in the walls within the basement development so you don't have noise going into the bedroom from the entertainment area. Also, within selecting your floor products, again, will you have a very cold floor? Are you going to put a raised subfloor? Will you put an underlay down of some kind to help take the edge off your feet? Or are you going to heat that floor? So those are some pretty key things for comfort to consider. Then of course, with basements, you must consider your lighting. This particular basement has a ton of natural light, but that's not often the case. So, your pot lighting grids and your lighting fixtures are really a key thing to consider when planning your basement. Otherwise, you end up with that dark space nobody wants to spend any time in. And if you do like dimmed areas, then you can put dimmer switches on your light. I would way rather overlight your space and have you dim your lighting than worry about not having enough light in your space and it being something that's not comfortable to spend time in. Another great way to really make your basement more comfortable and pull your family downstairs to use it is do some nice upgrades to make the space remarkable. You see behind me, we have this beautiful TV area, nice upgrade within the feature wall, and it really creates for an attractive space, kind of a focal point in the basement. People love to gather here and watch movies together, play games, whatever that is. So don't be afraid to do some upgrades to really make your space more comfortable. That's a key way to get people to want to come downstairs and use the space. And I think the days of the dark, musty basement are over. Now we have so many great things to consider to make a really comfortable space that performs well and looks beautiful. If you have questions about developing your basement, please do reach out. I'm Paul from Contact Renovation and Custom Homes. Have a great one.